My name is Renee Takacs. I'm an intuitive consultant, an animal communicator, and a vibrational healer. I've been doing this work for over 30 years. And as an intuitive, I help people feel calm, clear, and connected. As an animal communicator, I help people understand the reasons behind their animal's behavior and to hopefully help deepen their bond with their pet. Okay, thank you for being here. So just a little bit on how I work. Everybody works a little differently. I like to start by saying a prayer of creating sacred space, and then I will ask for permission. I'll need a moment of silence to connect with mono or shmono. What do you?
Mono, shmono, doesn't matter.
Mono. And when I get that, which usually I get that, then I will ask him if there's anything he would like to tell us, because I believe in giving the animal the opportunity to voice their life concerns and experiences, because they're oftentimes different from our perspective and sometimes not. And I will get information in various ways, share that with you, and then at some point I will turn it over to you and I'll ask if you have any questions. Let's ask him now. And does that make sense? Okay. Okay, so here we go. Dear God, divine love, creator, at this time we ask for the creation of sacred space on behalf of Mono and Didi and Ben. We thank you. We ask for the opening of the healing dimensions for everyone's highest good at all levels of their being, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically, and we thank you. We ask for the angels, guides, masters, and light beings who are most appropriate to please step forward at this time, who may be of service to everyone as we release what we no longer need and yet open to greater expressions of light and love, harmony, and well-being. Those who are not of the light are commanded to depart at this time. I'm grateful to be of service to Mono, Didi, Ben, and the light, so be it. Amen. So, Mono, my name is Renee, and it's a pleasure to meet you. He says, pleasure to meet me too. Is there anything that you would like to tell us first? He really likes this belly rub. And he also says that he's been enjoying this whole journey with you, this particular trip. You've opened up worlds and vistas to him. And the way he's showing it to me is just like going from a morning that's dim into a morning that's very bright. Thank you. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell them right now? There's a few other dog friends that he likes to visit. I think it's back home. And then what I feel is like he could go on for hours. He's a bit of a socialite. Does that make sense to you? And I feel like you may need to rein in the time frame for him, just because he will overdo it. But he loves being with his friends. Now he's showing me at least 2 dogs, and they look about the same size as him. One of them looks smaller. One of them is definitely darker, not like light color. Can you place who he's showing me?
Is that?
There's
What's her name? Stock?
the blink moment of who you're thinking of.
What's her name? Stock? The girl, the one that runs 4 miles.
Oh, yes, that's correct.
Pitbull.
Yeah, the dark one.
You don't happen to know the name? That's what we're trying to think of. Do you know the girl? You mentioned the girl.
Yes, Mariana.
Mariana's the woman.
And
Okay.
the dog.
That's okay. It'll pop up. But anyway, he just wants you to know that, how much he enjoys that interaction. Thank you, Mono. Okay. And there's an area in the park, maybe. I see he's showing me green grass. He loves to go there and smell all the smells. It's like 100 different smells. And it's, I don't even know, it's almost like for us going into an amusement park. Okay. And getting all the stories. And he's very intelligent, which you probably already know, but I feel like you've also opened him up more intuitively or spiritually. I mean, animals are already closer to source than we are, but they're also in a physical body like we are, and his consciousness has expanded being with you guys. Okay. There may be a tendency, I don't know how this happens, but he was showing me chewing something. Does he ever pick up chewing gum on the sidewalk or something in the yards or something? Okay, because wood. Oh, okay, because he showed me like chewing, but it was not food, and it didn't feel like it should be swallowed.
Socks. He chews and he swallows socks.
Oh. Okay. So we understand about the socks. Thank you for giving me that sensation and that chewing, and it wasn't digesting, it wasn't dissolving in your mouth. It's really best that you don't do that. He says once he has it in his mouth, it feels really good. He loves that sensation, but he just can't. He can't get, like, it starts to dissolve a little bit, or he can't spit it out. He doesn't want to spit it out. It's not that he can't, he doesn't want to, he says. Well, we hope you just poop it out. We'll just hope that happens. All right, well, we got him online here. Is there any question that you would like to ask at this time?
I guess in regards to the socks, it happens a lot when we're not there. And I guess we've been nervous whether he's doing it because he's anxious or he's not feeling well, or if it's just for the pure chewing sensation.
Right. Okay. So how are you feeling? A little bit anxious, a little bit bored. Like, I need to do something with my time, and this occupies me. But not like how some animals have, what do they call that when they're really anxious and people leave them, abandonment or separation anxiety. Yeah, it's not strong like that. It's a little bit of a combination of I'm bored and a little bit like I need to do something.
Is there something that's suitable that we could leave with him when we go?
What's coming to me is something that looks like a bone that is artificial, but you want it to be safe, and have been refrigerated. That it feels cool in his mouth, and that he would like that sensation, not room temperature, but cool, right? Yeah, okay. Something to try, because that's this impression that I'm getting. What? It's okay, babe.
Another question is, we may be embarking on a 2-month cross-country road trip.
Oh.
And wondering if he is up for it, or if that's going to be something that's going to stress him out.
Yeah, let's do something. So how would you feel about a long road trip? 2 months. Well, I don't want to be left behind. He definitely doesn't want to be left behind. So the only option is go. And I also want, like, what's happening is I'm connecting with him, but now an intuitive voice is coming in. And what I'm hearing is if while on the trip, anything happens at a health level, trusting that the universe is going to have you be at the right place at the right time to find the vet that he might need or the care he might need, something like that, Dee Dee. But he would much rather be with you. Does that make sense? And I feel like it'll be easy. I mean, you're kind of used to traveling with him, I think, anyway. And when are you thinking of leaving?
Probably next summer.
Oh, next summer. Okay. Well, that's a ways away. So, I mean, I appreciate the question, but he's, he's got some time here to just hang out with before that big trip, huh? Yeah, that's a big trip.
And also just
Get the
his
microphone.
his health when he's feeling pain.
Okay, so what can you tell me, sweetheart, about your body? Where does it hurt? Sometimes it feels weak, like I feel how I would feel if I had a fever. Not that he has a fever or flu, that kind of thing. It just feels like kind of weak. Generally, his life force energy feels very strong, though. I feel like his skeletal structure is strong, his bones in general. There is some joint areas where I feel discomfort. Anything that you could keep giving him along the omegas, to support that. It helps with reducing inflammation, that kind of thing is good. I know. He tells me his hearing is pretty good. I don't feel like he's having major hearing loss like some dogs might. Not yet, anyway. Left ear feels a little bit funny sometimes, but the right ear is good. Have you noticed anything in particular with the ears?
He's been recently having a lot. He got mites, and then they've just been getting reinfected, kind of.
Yeah. Well, keep an eye on it because it feels a little discomforting to him, but you're on it. What else, babe, do you want to tell me? He can see pretty good. He's seeing. He's telling me he can see things to a comfortable level. He's not, like some dogs, I feel, have really fuzzy or blurry vision. He's doing good there. He's not complaining about digestion. I feel like there may be sometimes just like, having some gas or something, but that can come with vegetables that he's eating. Man, he just feels really good on the inside. I just get, let's see, what is that with it? Heart good, lungs. Lungs feel pretty good. I feel like a little bit of, how can I say it? They could be functioning a little better. Maybe they're at 80%. I would like to see them at 20 or something like that. That also has to deal with circulation, and he seems to be doing generally well. Yeah, do you notice anything with the lungs sometimes?
He does a lot of reverse sneezing. A lot of times he'll,
Okay. Yeah. That's why he's really good for this age, I'm telling, from what he's giving me the feelings and sensations of. Another question?
Does the lump on his face obstruct his, probably not obstruct his vision, so if he says his vision is fine, but does it bother him? And
okay.
Should we do anything about it?
Okay. He says he's learning to live with it. It doesn't seem to bother him. Now I'm going to scan through his body to see if any of the lumps are bothering him. There's one that I feel like somehow inside or near my leg that feels like it pulls, but it's not painful. Like if I went to walk, and how we might have connective tissue fascia that might get kind of tight. That feels kind of tight to me, but then it's not hindering him, is what I'm hearing. Does that make sense? Yeah. I also have I feel like he has healthy poop. Healthy poops is what I get.
Yes,
And oh my gosh, that's so important. The whole digestive system. My mom was a nurse, so like that's not a foreign thing to talk about for me. Oh, is there anything else, sweetie? Well, anything else you have?
So, recently he's been, I'm hearing that he enjoys being at the park with the dogs, and you described it. It is a field, and dogs are able to go free at certain times, and it's very near to our house. But he's been having some issues with a particular dog, 2 particular dogs, yeah. Just out of nowhere, and one of them's an older dog too. So it just seems really odd. It's not like doesn't feel like he feels threatened, and this has been happening recent. So he hasn't been able to go out to this area because it's off leash, and
Ah.
yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me about the park and these couple of dogs? I feel they're the ones that are the initiator of this activity, that it feels a bit, to me, when he sees them, they feel like they can turn from assertive to aggressive. Is that what you're experiencing?
It's him out of nowhere. So one of the dogs that's older, I don't know if you want to speak about it.
They're activating this then in him because
it's very unusual because he'll see the dog right over the other side of the park, and they're both very mild-mannered dogs, and he makes a complete beeline for the dog and becomes very aggressive. The only time I've seen him aggressive before is if a dog snaps on him. He's actually very passive in that situation. It's only when they persist that he will kind of bite back, and these two, one dog in particular, he's done it 2 or 3 times too, and he's actually continued to.
Is this one long
bite.
furred? Does it have long fur
No.
and dark?
One of them has long fur, yes. The other one is older, and it's a black and white older pit bull, much older, which he never really bothers with pit bulls. The other dog, yes, it has longer dark fur.
Okay. Let me see. Excuse me. So, Mona, when you're at the park, I need to give you a very clear picture. Thank you. There's a dog. We call it a pit bull, and it's black and white. Tell me what the feeling is that you have when you see it. He feels fearful, and he's going to protect. I feel this is related to something in his past that he had an experience with that kind of looking dog. But also there's, what else is this with you, Mono? Well, I hate to say it, but, well, thank you. I was going to cross my leg, but I went. When sometimes a dog that is not well, another dog, like if there's the pack, they'll attack that not well dog. This dog doesn't feel well to me. And I've had communication with dogs when they've told me that that's what they did, why they were doing it, because that was the weakest dog in the pack and they were going to get rid of it. It's like this deep kind of dog instinct. No matter how wonderful he is now, something just rises up in him, and it just feels like you're the weak one. You got to go. Are you aware of this dog?
No. Yeah, the dog is old.
Tuxedo?
Because it also doesn't smell right. And what I mean by that, it could have cancer, like there's not a normal smell to him.
Yeah, we were careful. Another friend of ours has a dog. He was around a lot that recently has gotten cancer, so I was really careful because I kind of figured that
And
may happen because they may be just uncomfortable with that smell.
Yeah. And sometimes, like if they're already living at home and they're very compassionate with each other, they could just sit next to the dog and be a healing companion. But sometimes that's not what happens either. So that's good to be aware of. And that's just from experience, from talking to dogs that I learned about that, because I didn't know they did that.
Yes. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So the only thing you can do there, like, just make sure he's on the leash or not, near that dog.
That's a question. Does he mind being on a leash in cases where we have to be safe, or does he not understand?
Okay.
I'd like him to understand.
Hey, Mono, how do you feel about being on the leash? He understands. He has a natural curiosity, though, like he might, but he generally understands you when you say, that he has to be on the leash. He feels cooperative. He just tells me he's willing to cooperate because he likes being where you are and he likes going where you're going. And yeah, it just feels friendly and cooperative.
He has been nervously shaking his jaw more and more often
Okay.
recently.
Okay.
And I'm just wondering.
Oh, excuse me, honey.
I know he does it when he's excited, but it just seems like very often.
Can you talk to me about your jaw? When your jaw, how does that feel? Some of it I feel is tied into the nervous system. He needs support. He needs some kind of support, whether it's with supplements or... Because it's not because he feels scared. I feel it more at a physiological level. It's not emotional. What are you hearing? Oh, I see it. I mean, here it is. Let me ask a question. No? Okay. It's okay, babe. It's okay. Does he ever get acupuncture or chiropractic care or...
He really enjoyed Dr. David in Pennsylvania. We don't know anybody who is
in New York?
In New York, or the acupuncture. It's a bit hard to find.
That's funny because you'd think New York that have everybody, that access to all kinds of modalities. Yeah, when I feel it in his body and it's quivering like that, it just feels more nervous system related is all I can get. I don't get it neurological, like in the brain so much, but I get it in the nervous system itself. So if you can find someone who could do those kinds of modalities, that could be helpful. Even clicker, I've seen chiropractors who do clicking, the activator, I guess they call it, could be helpful for him.
And we were told that he wants a pet.
He wants
a pet.
A pet. Aww. Well, let me ask him. Mono, how would you feel about another animal in your home? Would you like another friend? Yes, he would, and a dog would be good as opposed to a cat. a little bit younger, but it doesn't have to be puppy. Do you know what I mean? Because puppy feels like too much high energy for him. It's not a have to kind of scenario, but it's like would be nice. He just seems to enjoy other dog companionship generally, other than the park incident. Yeah, but you know, that's always a decision that you guys have to make too. It's not within your lifestyle, it's okay. Just provide friendships for them. You know?
Did you have any questions?
Any other questions? Mono, is there anything else, sweetheart, that you would like to share with your people? Yeah, he thanks you for everything. There's something with it. There's a bowl, but it looks a little bit like a travel bowl that he's showing me, and he likes that bowl.
Is it blue?
Yes, yes. I was going to say it's blue.
And it pops down.
And yeah, it's like flexible. I couldn't come up with my words, but it wasn't hard. It was like movable and stuff. He loves that bowl. And also probably what it represents, food time. He's showing me. Now these are all the very basics. And what I like to tell people is when I'm communicating with a pet who's nearing transitioning, someone in spirit will always step forward to let you know that they're going to be part of the greeting committee and receive him. And what I'd like to say is there's no one stepping forward at this time. So that's however, good news, bad news, whatever it is for you. And I think we just did a really basic practical session, but if you want to get into any other questions, we could. But he seems happy, content. And he also feels like he knows that he's here to share love. And I feel this expansion, almost like exponential awareness. People are aware of him or the love he has to share. I don't know if he knows a lot of people, but that's the feeling that he gives me is like, I would say, oh, I'm famous, you know, but he's not saying he's famous. But he just has this feeling like there's a big group of people that he's sharing his love with. Anything else before we close?
I guess just to know that he understands when he is in pain, that we're trying to help, and I know that's hard for them to,
Well, the GABA, you had mentioned earlier, a gabapentin, and I am getting that can be beneficial. It might put them out, but that's pain medicine. But it does help ease the discomfort, and then any anti-inflammatory is going to be really helpful too.
And he's been on CBD. Just it was a couple of days we left him when we were with August. And
oh, that feels good.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems to be really helpful. It's interesting. It's calming and strengthening in a way. Like when he's calm, then the body seems the cells are able to regenerate themselves easier or better. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Well, Mono, is there anything else? Or anything else you want to share? Just at some point, I don't know if he has to walk up some set of steps he's showing me, and just be aware that at some point he might need a little more assistance with that. But right now it's okay. But he's showing me that. And did that make sense? Okay. And they don't seem carpeted. I just hear kind of a click, click, click with his nails.
It's the front steps to the house.
Okay. Okay. You know, maybe at some point you'd put a ramp or something. No, I think he's good otherwise. And see, he moved away from me, which is another indicator, like, I'm done talking to you. I'm good. I've shared. Yeah, most important thing of all, right? Okay, well then, is it okay with you if I close the session? Mm-hmm. So, dear God, thank you for the opportunity to meet with Manu and Dee Dee and Ben today. We're so grateful for their presence here on the earth. May they continue to walk their path in the fullness and brilliance of their light. I'm grateful to be of service to Manu, Dee Dee, Ben, and the light. So be it. Amen. Thank you, Manu.